Do you feel like you need to organize your home? Stay tuned for a special guest. Hi everyone, Jennifer Booker here, broker associate, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services for the Realty. And I have a special guest with me today that I'm going to be interviewing. My guest is actually someone who I saw on WPTV. She was interviewed through there and had some great tips that I think most homeowners and anyone looking to buy or sell as well can use some of her tips. This person is a mom to two boys, ages 3 and 6. So she is super busy, as most moms are. She loves to be outdoors. She loves to go to the beach or the park. They have a little golden doodle Bentley, and she's married to her husband for almost 9 years. She obviously has her own business, and she has always loved organizing. So she created a business around organizing. So please welcome Jessica from the Pop Home.
Hi, Jennifer. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thank you for being here with us. So I wanted to, I loved your segment that you did with WPTV, and I wanted to interview you and bring some of your tips that you gave there to some of, home buyers and home sellers and just anyone that owns a home that needs to organize. That's the one thing that we all have such a hard time doing. So tell us, when do you feel is the best time to organize a home? Is it before we put it on the market, after we've sold and we're moving? What are your recommendations for that?
Sure. So as far as somebody who is moving or preparing for a move, I would say that the best time to get organized would be as you're beginning to pack, like as you're getting in the mindset of getting your home listed prior to the agent coming in to take pictures. That's a great time to just declutter the areas that anybody who would be in your home during a showing or an open house is going to see. Right? They don't want to see your mess. So let's declutter it then. And then that also makes it so much easier when you're packing, because my recommendation is that you don't bring anything into your new home that you wouldn't want to keep. So we're not going to be bringing in junk and clutter to the new home. You want to get in your new home so that it is fresh and it feels good when you're unpacking and not dealing with additional items. If you're not moving and you've been in your home for, any amount of time and you're just starting to feel a little bogged down or overwhelmed by items, whether they're items that you want to keep or items that we would consider clutter, then I would say at the beginning of that feeling is when you should gear up to, either hire an organizer or find somebody who has tips that you're going to follow and try to do on your own. Don't wait until it is a situation where it's actually causing you stress and anxiety. Like, deal with it as soon as you can.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Like I said, organizing is so hard for some of us. So once you come in, for example, and you have a client and you help them organize the home, do you find that do you follow up with them, and do you find that they keep their home organized just like you did it? Or does it go back to our old ways, when we first brought you in?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say that I have, two types of clients, and it is different in each person's home, right? Like I can organize your belongings and I can create systems. And my goal with the Pop Home is to create practical, organized systems that will be perfect for your home. Now, when I say your home, Jennifer, I mean Jennifer's home.
Right.
Your home is not going to be the same as your next door neighbors, right? Your systems won't be the same. So I go in, I talk to you, I figure out what is going to work for your family, what will be sustainable and maintainable for you. I want to make it simple and streamlined. So my goal is that it would be the exact same or very close to it if I came to visit your home a month later. Now, sometimes that's not the case. Some people are disorganized in their mind, just, won't work like that. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. You can, have an organizing day where maybe, once a month you go through and you put things back into place. Or if you're able to, you can just join the Pop Homes maintenance program. And after I get the systems in place, I can come in, we'll figure out what works best once a month, once every 3 months, something like that, for a really quick refresher. Once the systems are in place, it takes a lot less time for me to come in and just kind of breeze through the new clutter that has been created in a short period of time. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's actually great. I didn't realize you had something like a maintenance program. I mean, it's almost like having, when you have somebody who comes to help you clean your house, there's once in a while that they will do a deep cleaning. So kind of the same. Yeah, you stay in contact with your clients and you'll come in and kind of redo that what you started.
Right.
That's
So
amazing.
I just call it like a refresher. Some clients, like, the mom goes to Costco once a month for a really big haul. So she has me come in the day that she does her Costco haul so that I can, take care of the clutter for her. She brings it in, I clean it up. It's like she, never had those giant boxes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, as a mom myself, it is very hard to teach your kids and to have them kind of follow those steps that you might have implemented in a home. So what are some of the things that you do for families that have children so that the children, it makes it easier and fun, right, for them to clean up after themselves?
Right. So I think that when I go into homes with kids, parents are really surprised and excited to find that their kids love the organization. Think about school classrooms, pre-pandemic, prior to where we are now, where kids are actually playing together with the toys, and then it's cleanup time. They don't just throw everything into one bin. The kids know that trains go here, blocks go here, kitchen stuff goes here. And I think that children mentally thrive from the organization that they have in settings like that. So when you introduce it into your home, kids actually enjoy it. And I receive text messages from clients, like I got one last week of a little girl sitting, in her newly organized room. And her mom said that she hadn't left since she got home. She was so excited how organized everything was. And I followed up with her a few days later, and she said that everything was still organized, the way that it was when I left. For different age groups, I create different labels. So if you have an older child and a younger child, I try to put labels on the bins that the younger child can see. So it's going to be a photo, and I'll actually take photos of what is in the bin when I create the labels. So they know, like, oh, those are my Toy Story toys. They go in here. And then the older child will have a label that they can read. I also always joke that those labels are really helpful for housekeepers and husbands, because I find that they kind of just throw things places. But if you have a bin that has a photo and wording on it telling you what goes in it, you're a lot less likely to just throw anything in it. It's almost like your brain sees it and it triggers a response to follow that instruction, which is what organizing is, right? It's giving you cues and instructions for simplicity.
That's amazing. I have another question as far as, I've tried to read the life-changing magic of tidying up. And in one of the sections of the books where I actually got stuck is your sentimental stuff, the things that your kids have drawn since they were in kindergarten. You want to keep everything, maybe birthday cards, things like that you get over the years. You don't want to get rid of them. How do you handle that with your clients as far as, when you're organizing?
Sure. So I'd say one thing that sets the Pop Home apart, I feel like there are many, but one of the big things that I try to work on with my clients is that I am not a minimalist. I am not by nature. I like my clothes. I like my kids to have their toys. And I feel like if you, my client, have the space for something and you want to keep it, you should. It's my job as an organizer to find the space to help you be able to keep and maintain and possibly bring in more of the things that you love. So Jennifer, if you have a shoe collection that you love, according to tidying up, if it doesn't bring you joy, you should get rid of it. All of those shoes bring me joy. I want you to get more shoes that bring you joy. I want to help you find space within your home for the things that you love. If you love all of your child's artwork, then we should find a spot for it. Now, I think that we have to be realistic with that. I'm sure you've seen Pinterest, Instagram. It's really trendy right now, like the file bins for your kids' art. And many people go K through 12 in those bins. And you have your child's entire educational career before college in one tiny bin. That wasn't realistic for me in my home. And my kids' bins, they have a lower school bin that goes from preschool to 5th grade. And then if I fill that up, maybe they'll get another one. But I try to be realistic in what I keep. So if it has a fingerprint, or it's something that is a photo of them, or something that they worked really hard on, I want to keep it. Those things make me happy. If it's a scribble or a letter traced P, or something potentially with food that could go bad or ruin other items, I would say maybe let's let those items go. But I'm sure that in your home, we can find a spot to keep a file bin of your child's lower school achievements, report cards and papers they've written, or, really great spelling tests. Am I going to keep every spelling test? No. I think when you keep way too many items, then it kind of devalues the ones that you have. So one spelling test that they got an excellent grade on is a great thing to keep, but we don't need one for every week.
No.
So try to be realistic. But if you love a piece of art from your kid, I'm not going to tell you, hey, you have to get rid of that one because we already have 5 from this grade. Let's make room for it. Let's find space, but be realistic in what we're keeping.
Okay, great. And so
Did
how
that
does
answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. How do your consultations go with your clients? How do you usually meet with them? And do you do stuff over Zoom, or do you always go to the home? I know we're in the middle of the pandemic. So what are some of the things that you're doing to kind of change that?
Of course. So everything with a pop home is fully customizable, but so 2 scenarios I would say mainly that I'm encountering. If a client wants me to come and actually do work in their home for them, then the process would generally go with them calling me. We have a phone consultation. I explain the process to them. And at that time, we set up an in-home consultation. During the in-home consultation, I take photos, measurements, get a vision of what I think the organizing system should look like. And then I prepare an organizing plan for approval for the client, where I email it. I say, hey, this is kind of my vision board for what I'm going to implement in your home. How's it look before we get started? And it's at that time, if I propose to them like, hey, in your pantry, I want to use beautiful woven baskets, they would say, oh, I actually don't like woven baskets. I prefer white baskets, or something along those lines. I just want to make sure everything's perfect before I come into the home. It helps save time. It makes sure everybody's happy. And then I would go in the home and do the organizing.
And when you do the estimate, do you buy everything and you include everything that you would need to buy for the organizing, or is that separate? How does that work?
Great question. So I will actually send 2 invoices at the end to a client. And what we will do is create a product budget. Some clients want no product. They want their closet reorganized with no product. And that's fine. I'm able to do that. And we just have to find different spots for things that make the most sense. And then some clients, they want whatever we need for the project that I would recommend. And we try to set a budget. And then that's the product budget. And I give an estimate for time. Now, time, I am always considerate of, because if you're paying me by the hour, I want to work as quickly as possible to make the most for the client. However, there are things that can change that time. So for instance, if the client is home and we're in the closet and we're going through each item to decide whether or not they're going to keep it, if they now start trying items on, I'm still there, but it's going to add on to time. And that's fine. I'll sit there and we'll have a fashion show and it'll be great. But if I'm not anticipating that that's the way the project is going to go, then time might go over. So I just try to have those conversations with clients to set realistic expectations at the beginning.
Okay.
As far as during the pandemic, as you asked, I have virtual sessions that I do with clients, and that kind of is broken up into 2 ways as well. One being if they just want like an outline, almost a to-do list from a professional saying, this is the problem, this is the diagnosis, this is how you solve it, then I have an organizing plan that I would go through for them, give them product recommendations. They would buy those products on their own, and then they would implement the steps that I recommend. But if we want to go a little bit further, I can actually do Zoom sessions with the clients during the process of the organizing. So I can say like, hey, let's try this over there. Let's move those shoes to this area, or put the peanut butter here in the pantry. You know, be there with them while they do it, but considerate of their, wishes during COVID.
Right. That's great. That's wonderful. Can you give us some insight? We're overrun by paper in the mail, even though most of us are all trying to be more paperless, virtual, doing everything online. We still get the mail. And there's always a spot in everyone's home that it just goes to and sits there for days until we decide to go through it. So what is your recommendation as far as the mail? Is that something that once we get it, we just have to tackle it and get rid of it? Or should we put it in a special spot and have a certain day that we go to it? What do you think?
So I think that that's a great question, and something that you're right, every home struggles with. I think it's really important that homes have drop zones. Okay. Now that drop zone could be where your keys go. It could be in your mudroom. It could be in an area where you walk in, into the kitchen or in your entryway. It kind of depends for each family. But I think that it's important that when you check your mail, you get rid of anything that you are never going to look at again. If you're not a couponer, then you get rid of your crazy coupons that are coming in, or any junk mail. Only keep the things that you want to go back to, and have an area for them, a drop zone, where maybe it's a basket and you put it in there. And then at the end of the night, when you're cleaning up after the kids have gone to bed and you're settling down, readdress those items. And wherever you pay your bills, wherever you sit down to do that task, is where those items should go. You are going to have a really hard time remembering to send money to whoever is asking for it if the bill is in the kitchen, but you pay the bills at your desk. So it's okay to have a temporary spot, but you need to create a routine to address the situation so it doesn't get out of hand.
Okay, that's a great idea. Definitely something we all need to work with. Jessica, thank you so much for coming on today and giving us all these tips. As a real estate agent, when I'm out showing homes to buyers especially, they always walk in and they make a comment when the home looks just like HGTV homes, right? Because that's what they're used to. So as a seller, if somebody's thinking of selling, they definitely want to look at those major areas that most buyers are looking at, which is the pantry. Most buyers will open in the pantry, and if it's completely organized, then they know that seller really takes care of their home. So those are some great tips, and it's something that you can help anyone that's thinking of putting their home on the market.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, if anyone wants to reach Jessica for a consultation, make sure that you check her website, which is thepophome.com. And you can also subscribe to her newsletter, which you give tons of tips for everyone all of the time. And you also write a blog, correct?
I do, yes, weekly.
Okay,
and
great.
There's tips, reviews, ideas, how-tos, all of that.
Excellent. We all need that when it comes to organizing. All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for watching.
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the thumbs up if you like this video and click on the bell to get notified of new videos. Thanks for watching.